Hello everyone and welcome to a week of Algos brought to you by Developer Student Clubs, Manipal University, Jaipur. A week of Algo intends to help you kickstart your coding journey by making you familiar with data structures such as arrays, stacks, and queues taught to you from the real life applications. We'll have casual talks with our speakers, which will help you figure out how to land up at a top product based company such as Fang. And later, we will give you tips on how to boost up your LinkedIn profile. We'll be having fun quizzes, post talks, and much more. Today, we have with us Raj Vikramaditya. Raj works as an SDE at MediaNet. Previously, he interned at Amazon India. Raj also has a YouTube channel named Take You Forward with almost 58,000 subscribers, where he teaches data structures and algorithms and advises about competitive programming and interview preparation. He is a candidate master at Codeforces and a six-star coder at CodeChef. He is also an instructor at Geeks for Geeks, wherein he interned previously. So please help me in welcoming Raj Vikramaditya. Over to you, Raj Bhaiya.
Hey everyone, what's up? I'll not be introducing myself. I think Abhishek did that. I'll be taking off questions from you. Like if you have any questions regarding competitive programming or regarding any of your how to land any interview in these top product-based companies or any other question, I'll be taking on them. So if you want to ask question, it's super simple. Just unmute yourself and get your question through.
Guys, we need you to raise your hands first, and then we'll let you unmute yourselves.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello, Striver Bhaiya, big fan.
Yeah, hey.
Bhaiya, I am basically in third semester, three-star coder on CodeChef, and I know basic data structures such as stack, queue, basic implementation of all data structures. So, should I start doing your SD sheet or should I start doing your competitive programming sheet for that?
Third year. You said you're in third year or third semester?
Third semester, Bhaiya, second year.
Third semester. I'll suggest you for the third semester and fourth semester, do the CP list, do the algorithms as much as you can. And once you are done with your second year, when you go across to the back of the second year, you start making projects. And right when you step into your third year, probably when second year ends, you have a 2 months vacation, if I'm not wrong. During that span, start doing that SD sheet at SD sheet. If you do by full effort, and if you have already done that CP list like 70% or 50% of that CP list, I think it should not take more than 60 to 70 days to complete that SD sheet. And if you have done 100% of that or 80 to 90% of that CP list, I think it should not take more than 30 to 45 days for that SD sheet. So second year till second year, CP, keep on doing CP, because that's gonna help you. That's gonna ease your process when you're gonna learn about DSA questions. But if you are into your third year, fourth year, SD sheet is the way to go. Yeah, it might take a bit more time, but it's fine. But if you have done CP across your first year, second year, while in your third year, fourth year, you'll be very much eased out when you do that SD sheet. So yeah, that should be your answer.
And which type of project you're talking about, Bhaiya?
Project, you can do any project that you like. Ask yourself, what do you like? Do you like backend? Do you like front end? Do you like
I
machine learning?
know basic HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. Heading
That's
towards
wrong.
PHP.
That's the wrong way to go, because see, when you're making a project, it doesn't goes this way that you know what, and on that basis you decide the project. No, at first probably look for a problem statement, and once you have looked for a problem statement, then analyze what can be the solution for that problem statement. Like for a problem statement, just for an example, if you're building an electronic e-commerce website, so just figure out what are the things that you require on that e-commerce website, and after that analyze what are the front-end technologies that you can use among all the things that are available on the internet, and what are the back-end technologies that you can use. You should not go this way ki I know CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, so I should be doing on that, because it might happen you're creating an e-commerce website where I think most of the pages are very much common. So over there you can see that, okay, I have a lot of pages common. For an example, YouTube has a lot of pages common. So these things can be done using React just as a front end library. So like this, figure out what front end technology you want to use. Don't decide the technology depending on what you know. Decide the technology depending on what project you are trying to make, and then learn it and try to implement it. That's the best way to do projects.
Is it okay for us third semester guy to have a 3-star on CodeChef and begin with Code Forces, or I need to push much?
Ratings will never matter. See, even if you are a 2-star, I know people who are 1200, 1300 at Code Forces. I also know people who do not have a Code Forces account. I also know people who haven't done CodeChef or Code Forces any day. There are a lot of people who are already into these companies. See, in interviews, they're never going to ask you what's your rating. They're going to simply ask you DSA questions. And if you're able to give them the most optimal approach, I think you should be able to go get through that interview. Your rating will never matter. What matters is how you answer their DSA questions that they ask in the interviews. What are your projects? How you present your projects when you are in an interview, and can you answer the core subjects like operating system, DBMS, computer networks, object-oriented programming. These are the key aspects. Computer programming was never a key aspect. Even if you do DSA very good, like in a very good way, you can clear the coding rounds of most of the companies going around. Yeah, Bearing Code, Bearing, Media.net, Bearing, Uber. Apart from these top-notch companies, I think you can crack any of the coding rounds if your DSA is good. So computer programming will not matter. Just do computer programming to have your skills up, so that when you get into those third year, fourth year, you should be eased out with your DSA. Got it?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Abhishek, can you unmute? Yeah, hey.
Right now I'm in third year, but I'm an IT student. But what happened is I haven't done any project, and right now I'm lagging a lot of skills within me. And also, moreover, I have enrolled your CP course in Geek for Geeks. And what happened is means I'm just totally confused what to do, what not to do. Actually, my placement will be from May onwards, and I don't have much time. I don't know what will be my future after this. But as I was interested in DSA and all, actually getting myself deeper into this, and I thought to start the CP, and then I got to know that you are teaching on Geek for Geeks for this, and so I have enrolled there. But I don't know what to do, what not to do. Actually, I was planning to do Android and some one or two projects in this, but still I'm very much confused.
So I guess you enrolled in CP9?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what I will suggest you is, see, projects are gonna be important when you get across those interviews. They are gonna really be important. So what my personal suggestion is, since you have a very less time, very less time, probably go to Udemy, pick up some development course. Okay. And in every of the development course at Udemy, they do projects. They do very good projects. So probably that project, just pick that project up, and after that make modifications, probably add couple of features more, like 2 to 5 features more on it, and that can be a good project on a very short span of time. If you don't have a time, Udemy is the best place to go. It will hardly cost you 400 to 600 rupees. Get a course which has a lot of projects in it, and there will be a final project which will be really good. So you can check out the courses. There are a lot of web developer bootcamp courses. So probably check out a course. My suggestion to you will be check out courses on Java Spring. If you can even make a very normal, like very simple project on Java Spring, then also it works, because Java Spring is such a trending, Spring Boot is such a trending stuff in this industry, that even if you make a very simple project, it really helps. Like don't go for the much fancier names like Django and all, because yeah, it's fine creating a project on that, but when you go to these companies like Amazon or any other top product-based companies, be it Danjo, be it anything, so all of these companies do use Java. So if you know a bit of also that language, it will give you a higher edge over other candidates when you appear for that. So my suggestion is, go enroll through a course of 400 to 600 rupees, get that project, add couple of features more after you have done that course, and keep on doing DSA. I cannot suggest anything else. Just keep on doing DSA till May. May is a long way, man. It's 5 months. It hardly requires 2 to 3 months to get you specialized, like to get at least in a shape to appear for interviews. And 5 months is a lot of time. You can be really good. Just make sure you do core subjects and that project thing that I said. Just pick up a project like that. Okay.
It actually means this competitive programming actually needs a much time. But as I have enrolled in that, it will be starting from 5th of December, I guess. So it
Yeah.
will be going all the way
Will
to
start from
till
the
the end of January. So between, I was planning to do Android as well, but but the main concern what I'm having is I mean means if I get distracted in the midway, then it will be of no side. I hope you understand. But meanwhile, in my SC project, I have given a integrated idea to my sir, and he told that this project is a very good project. But the main concern is I haven't developed it. Means I haven't implemented that project actually. So this project work actually it is getting off my hand.
So yeah, just leave it. So don't be like stuck on that you're wanting to do an Android. It's fine if you're wanting to do an Android. Get an Android course and then pick up a project from there and then do it. That should be my suggestion to you. And like don't even think what will if I give up in between. Why do you want to think on that? That's a very negative thinking. Just don't think. Just take a day at a time. Just think tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna enroll in that course, and I'm gonna do couple of days on that course. The next day I'm gonna do another couple of days. Think a day at a time. Don't think what's gonna happen couple of months down the line. And regarding the CP course, come and trust me, you're gonna learn a lot of algorithms. So don't worry about that. You're gonna learn a lot of algorithms. It's just if you practice for that couple of months, you should be in a really good shape. So there's nothing to worry about. Just don't be negative. That is what my suggestion to you will be.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's meet 5th December, 4th December.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Okay, I think Jalaj is next. Can someone unmute him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have just joined MUJ. I wanted to know that which programming language should I start with? Like some of the companies are specific for some languages. And
Okay, so first year.
yes,
First year. So first of all, companies are never specific about languages unless and until you are an experienced guy. So if you are a fresher who's looking for a job, you will never ever find yeah, in startups you might find requirement Node.js, requirement Angular. On startups you'll find this shit stuff going around. But if you are actually planning for, I think you should plan for the top companies like Google, Logia, Facebook, Amazon, Flipkart, Uber, Coordination, DirectI Group, and all these companies. And if you're looking for them, trust me, if you go across their job requirements, it's clearly written SDE, freshers or undergrads or something like that. They would have written. They would have never written that you should be knowing Java, you should be knowing anything like that. So first of all, if you're wanting to code or you're wanting to start off with your programming, my suggestion will be take up any language that either you would have done in class 11, 12, and if you haven't done anything, then I will suggest you to take up C++. The sole reason I suggest a lot of people C++ is because when you get across that first year, second year, third year, and all the 4 years of your engineering, and you check out the solutions of problems, or you check out any editorials, or you check out any stuff, you'll find most of the stuffs written in C++ across GFG, across Codeforces. A lot of people do use Codeforces, like majority of the programming community does use C++ for programming. It is very important. It's only for programming. But then when it comes to development, people use Java on the majority front on the industry. But see, if you know one language, you can easily switch to the other language. It's about the logic building thing that you should focus on. So suggestion to a first year should be pick up any language, pick up C++ or a Java or a Python, whatever you feel to. Priority should be given to picking up C++. Learn how to take the input, learn how to take the output. What's the C++ STL video on YouTube, and I think that should be more than enough, and some for loops. That should be more than enough to get started. And just do programming as much as you can, participate in contest, And after that, think of learning all these development languages. But at first, start off with programming. That's very important to get your logic building clear before you start development. Okay, no language preference as such.
O- Okay, I have one more question. That is a valid
Sure.
certificate necessary for like if I learn some language, is certificate necessary for placements?
Certificates are not necessary. Even when you do an internship at Amazon, the like I write Amazon intern. I've interviewed at a lot of places. They just look at my resume, Amazon intern, that's fine. They never ask me give the certificate of Amazon internship. And if you write you have done a course, they're never gonna ask you, hey, give me the certificate of the course. If you write skills as C++, Java, Python, they're not gonna ask you give me the certificate. What they're gonna ask you is questions. Like just an example, if you have written skills as Python, they might give you a stuff like, hey, what's this library in Python? Can you just explain? So that's the question that you're gonna face. You're never gonna face give you a certificate. Got it?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hey Bhaiya, there's a question in the chat. So Ayush asks, currently I'm following DSA series from CodeChef and also I'm doing Redux.
Okay.
Actually trying to learn as I want to create a website I have an idea for and want to work on it. So I'm developing skills for that. But it's really hard to do both things simultaneously. So can you give some advice? And he's in third semester right now.
Okay, currently okay, I have an idea on how to work on it, so I'm developing skills related to both of the things. Can you give some advice? Currently I'm third semester. So yeah, the best thing is to do all on alternative days. I've seen a lot of people cannot decide on whether to do programming DSA or whether to do these development stuff. I think you can take alternate stuffs or you can take alternate weeks. Like 1 week you are focusing on development, the other week you are programming. So in this way you don't leave hand on any of the stuff. That can be one of the ways to go. Or the other way is probably you think, okay, I need this project. I have to build a very good project. So I am gonna give my couple of months entirely to it. So I will be spending my next couple of months in creating this project in the best possible way. And once I'm done with this project, I'm gonna add features, but that I can keep on doing. Like even if I give 2 hours per day, after that I can keep on adding projects. So the best thing is you just keep on adding projects, add features after that 2 months, and you keep programming. Or you can do on alternate days. Either you finish the project and then program, or you do both of these things alternatively. So choose one of these paths, whichever you feel like, and yeah, that should be the answer. Let's take up the next one.
Lakshay asks, so I'm a fresher for this year and it's hardly been 3 weeks since the start of my college life. I'm quite dedicated to programming and CS. So the question I want to ask is how should I plan my first year now in the most optimal way that would help me with DSA and coding interviews?
Best thing is at first, since you're into programming, I'm very much sure that you would already be knowing a programming language. Best way to invest first year and second year is every contest that goes at Codeforces, every contest that goes at CodeChef. Do every contest at these platforms. Do upsolve problems after the contest. Upsolving means if you're not able to solve the first any problem, let's say you solved the first two problems, that means you were not able to solve the third problem. So just take that problem up and solve that third problem. And if you're facing like on a regular basis you're not able to solve the third problem, pick up the previous contest that you haven't participated at and do all the third problems from that contest. So in this way, keep doing for the first 2 years. Don't even deviate. Codeforces on an average has 100 plus contests per year. So couple of years down the line, you would have participated across 150 contests. Even if you miss 50 contests, we are giving for examinations or for some other purpose, then also you would have participated in 150 contests, which is more than me. I've only participated in 130 plus contests. And if you just do that 150 plus contest, trust me, 2 years down the line you'll be in a very good shape. And one more thing I'll add up, since you're in first year, don't even think of your ratings. I see a lot of people not participating in contest fearing कि rating गिर जाएगा. So ये चीज तो नहीं सोच रहा है. Like don't even think that my rating is gonna go down and I'm not gonna participate in contest. Just look forward to participating in contest. Think that today I'm gonna learn something new. Today I'm gonna solve a problem, And even if I'm not able to solve a problem, after the contest, I'll solve a problem. Just think on that basis and participate in every contest that you can. Just follow this roadmap for the next couple of years. And trust me, when you are in your 4th semester end, you'll be in a very, very good shift for any of the interviews. And after that, what you need to do is just spend couple of months for preparing DSA, which can be easily done if you follow my SD sheet. So you will be interview ready. And projects you can keep on making from 4th semester beginning or 4th semester end. Don't focus on projects on first year. You might hear fancy names from your first year colleagues, like he's doing machine learning, he's doing AI, he has learned Python. Don't get attracted by these fancy names, because trust me, when you come across 4th year, these things will never matter. These things are not gonna matter. The guy who's good in programming, the guy who has done normal couple of projects and he's really good in programming, is the one who's gonna land up at these product-based companies, not the guy who was calling out machine learning or AI. Those guys will not even be seen in the frame when you come to your 4th year. Okay.
Sneak, you can unmute yourself and ask the next question.
Hey there, Snake this side. Currently in second year and I've been following you since past few months. So I wanted to ask what's the proper time to start participating in CodeChef long challenges? I'm currently like halfway through DSA, currently doing the trees part. So what I've been doing is like solving the long challenge questions once the contests are over. Like
So
yeah.
may I ask you something? Sorry to interrupt, but may I ask you something? Why are you not participating in the contest? What's the reason? Oh, you want to learn everything and then start?
Uh, because I like thought since graphs and DP and other topics are still left, so and CodeChef also has like by default the rating is 1500, so like
Doesn't
uh,
matter. Who
yeah.
cares about rating? Is someone gonna care about your rating if it's already 1500? I said, no one is gonna care about your rating. Go to that interview. No one gives a shit about your rating. They will give you a question, you give them the optimal approach. If they're satisfied, you're getting hired or you're getting fired. So no one cares about the rating. Secondly, the mentality of thinking key, I don't know DP, I don't know graph, I'm gonna learn and then I'm gonna start, will take years and years. See, you cannot learn everything. Start participating in contests right from today. If there's a contest today, go and participate. Don't even think I'm gonna learn everything. Keep learning side by side, man. And how much time it will take to participate in a contest? Even if you're doing long challenges, that hardly takes 10 days from your month. After that, you're left off at 20 days. 5 days to absolve, 15 days are still left. 15 days apply on learning new algorithms, but participate in contest, because that contest will teach you how to debug. Because after contest, you know what's the solution. Even if you're stuck, you're not gonna have your brains up, you'll just copy paste the solution. Like, participate in that contest, you don't know what if your solution is correct. You're gonna try out different logic, you're gonna try out DP, you might try out greedy, you might try out trees, you might try out different algorithms, and that is when your brain starts working. Just knowing how a problem is solved is not where you learn. Knowing how a problem can be solved with multiple ways, failing with multiple ways, and reaching to that optimal approach is the thing that contest teaches you. So right from tomorrow, I'll suggest you, if there is a contest, start participating. Don't even wait for learning everything. While participating, keep on learning. If you see the problem is solved by dynamic programming, learn dynamic programming in 2 days and then solve that problem on long challenge. If you're not able to solve, after long challenge, solve it. But do it in this way. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Don't
Second thing.
And don't fear about ratings. No one cares. Trust me. Just keep participating.
Okay, and the second thing that I wanted to ask is like what type of projects you did, like you put up on your resume.
The thing is, my computer programming was really strong. So even my interviews, like whatever interviews I've given till date, there hasn't been a single interview where I was not able to solve the problem. Like, all the interviews that I have given, I have solved every problem that was asked to me in the interview. So if you're doing this stuff, the other side is not that much seen, because when you're solving every problem that has been asked to you in interview, answering every question about OS, DBMS, computer networks, what happens is then the project thing gets a bit knacky. Like, they don't focus on that if you're appearing for these top product based companies. But when it comes to startups, then they start looking on projects. So that's the reason I never did a project till third year. And at the end of the third year, I just picked up a Udemy course, took up a project, and just added couple of features, and that was my project. That was not a good project. I personally agree to it, so I will not suggest you to do something like that. Probably make a good project. Again, as I said, pick up a problem statement. Try to think what can you build. Try to think what software can you build. Try to think which kind of a website you're trying to build. What are the features that you can cooperate in it, and then try to figure out what solution can you make for it. What are the front end technologies you can use. Think of a problem and then make the project. Don't think that I have to make a project. Okay, let's pick up the languages, then pick up some random topic. Think of a problem statement. It can be anything. Making a barcode scanner se leke kuch bhi. It can be anything. So try to get on that aspect, but I haven't made any such good projects. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Bhaiya, Tanya is asking best way to learn data structure if you are in the third year.
Best way to learn data structure. So just go to my channel and find the SD sheet. There will be topics written. Topics like arrays, topics like greedy, topic like linked list. Just notch the topics down. Once you have notched the topic down, I'm assuming you're already aware of one of the programming languages. Notch all the topics down. Go to GFG and look out for basic questions of those topics. You can easily find out easy tag questions at LeetCode or easy tag questions at GFG, and do those easy basic questions at GFG for those basic data structures. Now, once you feel that you have covered up all the topics, like you know how to input a graph, you know how to do an in-order traversal in a tree, you know how to insert in a linked list, you know how to delete a node in a linked list. All these basic questions and all the basic questions of all the topics on the SD sheet are done. Go to that SD sheet again, and there are questions. There are 180 questions. Solve every problem. And while you solve every problem, write down the optimal approaches in a notepad and keep that notepad to your bed. And whenever you like wake up in the morning, go through that notepad every day for half an hour. Like first day, it might take 2 hours, but eventually a day will come where you'll be like, okay, ye to aata hai mujhe, ye to aata hai. And you will be just rolling out pages, and you have everything in your brain required for DSA. That's the best way to go. Learn basic, then solve the problems required for your interviews. Okay, that's the answer for Tanya.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Akash, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
भैया मैं ना कोड शेफ के मतलब सारे कॉन्टेस्ट देता हूँ, जैसे कि लंच टाइम, कुक ऑफ एंड लॉन्ग चैलेंज. तो लॉन्ग चैलेंज के अंदर मैं 3 या 4 प्रॉब्लम मतलब 4-5 प्रॉब्लम मैं कर लेता हूँ, बट जो कुक ऑफ और लंच टाइम है ना, उनमें मतलब मेरे से एक प्रॉब्लम होती है, फिर हार्डली वो कभी भी एक भी नहीं होती. तो लाइक मैं इम्प्रूव कैसे करूँ?
तो मेरा सजेशन है यार,
टाइम लाइक
करना बंद कर दो. CodeChef is very knacky. Like they are very unbalanced. Like okay, their long challenges are good to learn if you are wanting to learn in very deep for computer programming, but the cook-off lunchtime are very shitty. Their problem setters some days set 2 easy problems, someday they will set the first problem as so hard. My suggestion is do every Codeforces contest. There are 2 to 3 Codeforces contest every week. Participate in every contest in Codeforces. That will teach you much more than you will get to learn at lunchtime and cook-off. Once you start participating at Codeforces regularly for a couple of months, you will never ever come back and participate in lunchtime, or you'll never ever open that CodeChef site. So trust me, just go to Codeforces and start participating. At first, you might find it a bit tough, but eventually when you will start participating in every contest for 2 months, you will start loving that site, and that's going to teach you hell more than CodeChef does. Okay.
एंड सेकंड थिंग इज भैया कि वो जो लव भैया हैं, उन्होंने एक गाइड टू सीपी करके एक बुक बताई थी, तो वो बुक सही रहेगी कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग इंप्रूव करने के लिए, या फिर सीपी लिस्ट करता रहूं आपकी? गाइड टू कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग.
अरे कौन सा भैया ने बताया?
लव बब्बर भैया, यूट्यूब चैनल है ना उनका.
अच्छा, बब्बर ने बताया था क्या? अच्छा, तो गाइड देख यार, मुझे तो पर्सनली नहीं लगता कि कोई बुक करने की ज़रूरत है सीपी के लिए. सीपी के लिए जितने सवाल करोगे उतने अच्छे हैं, और बुक पढ़ के एल्गोरिथम समझना बहुत टफ होता है, because someone explaining you in graphics is what is today's generation wanting. No one wants to read every line and understand. So my suggestion is, pick up an topic, learn that algorithm from YouTube. There are a lot of people who have put on, like for an example, if you're learning segment trees, pick up a segment tree topic, learn it from YouTube. There are a lot of videos on YouTube. After that, start solving problems. You can follow my CP list, or you can search problems on your own and start solving problems. You cannot learn by reading books. You can only learn once you get accepted or that tick mark. The more tick marks, the more wrong answers, the more TLEs, the more runtime errors you'll find while you submit, the more you learn. Books is never the way. It's not operating system or DBMS that you're gonna learn. It's all about practice. The more you practice, the more you learn. Okay.
How is A2OG ladder for practicing?
That's good. It's good, but it's not about algorithmic practice. It's more about code forces practice. It's more about building your constructive skills. Like, it's not algorithmic practice. If you want to do algorithmic practice, then follow the CP list. You'll find problems. Data DSA. So that comes up. We have a lot of approaches. Like, a problem can be solved using a lot of approaches. It might happen someone comes up with a good approach. So these approaches, algorithms, might be inspired by some of the existing algorithms. So you never know. So everything is used. Trust me. Development, what you do in your projects in your college days, is not development. When you will come across company codes, you will find a bunch of data structures. You'll be finding nested list, you'll find nested map, you'll find everything, every day stack, queue, priority queue. You'll find every data structure being used, right? It's not your college coding that you just build up a front end website and that works. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey Aryan, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Bhaiya. Aryan here. So I have been practicing C on W3 resources. and like I'm almost gonna complete it. And how to proceed after that? Yeah, like any tips on how to proceed after completing those sums?
Which year?
First year,
Okay, so
first sem.
since you have done C, my suggestion will to you will be right after completing that, go to YouTube, watch C++ STL video. Before that, learn something about C++, like probably watch out a video on C++ on YouTube. You will find a lot of people would already have made videos on C++ in 1 hour, C++ in 2 hours. So learn how to write for loop, learn how to take inputs, learn how to print outputs, learn how strings are manipulated and everything like dot substring and all those functions. Once you've done, watch out C++ STL. I already have a video on my channel, so watch that out. After that, you would have already learned C++, because people don't code in C nowadays. That's all only used in your college. So learn C++ because you've already learned C, so it won't take that much of time. Right after that, don't go into deep of C++. Just learn input, output, for loops, bit here and there, and STL video. And right after that, start programming. How do you start programming? Probably open Codeforces or something you can watch out. There are plenty of videos where you will find us saying how to start proper skill. Exactly, you'll find 10 minutes or 15 minutes video on my channel. If you want to start computer programming, there's a video guide to CP. Watch it out on my channel. Find step by step whatever I have sent, just follow that. Whatever I've said. Okay. If you're wanting to do computer programming, if you're someone who's wanting to do development, probably start off with your development. Pick up some language initially. Start doing here and there front end stuffs. And after that, once you're comfortable with development, think about problem statements, then think about solutions, and then start building up your projects. So it's on you. After learning language, what do you want to do? Computer programming or get into development? That's on you. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
So Nishant is asking in the chat that I am in final year and I have done a good amount of development, but I'm fairly new to CP and DSA. How and where would you recommend to learn DSA for FANG? I have around 2 to 3 months. Thanks.
So my stuff will be, don't even look around to CP. Keep booyah. Just forget that there is something known as CP. Just focus on data structure and algorithms. That will sail you through your interviews. Don't even look around CP. CP requires time. CP requires years. It requires months. It will never be done in a couple of months. And if you start off with CP, you will get demotivated. You'll feel like you don't belong here. So don't even look across making a CP account. Just make a LeetCode account or make a GFG account and start doing DSA problems. Now, again, as I said to Tanya, just follow that way, pick up topics from my SD sheet. There are topics written, and do all the basic DSA questions on GFG or LeetCode from that topics. Once you have done with that, start solving SD sheet problems. And once you have completed SD sheet problems, more than ready for the interviews if you have done core subjects and projects with that. Don't even look for starting CP if you haven't done in your final year. Okay.
Hi, Raj. This is Rishabh here. So I'm pretty sure that you might be getting this question a lot, but I just wanted to know, like, what was your experience at Amazon being an intern, and right from the beginning, like, how did you prepare, and what was the interview process, and like, just all this in brief. Thank you.
Okay. So when it comes to Amazon, again, there was a opening which came up in October. Similar to this year also, there came an opening, and then I managed a referral, and then I just applied via that referral, and I got that test link around December 14th, where they said me that I have to appear for test on December 14th or 15th, and then I appeared for the test. The test was very easy and trivial. You'll find the test questions were directly from DSA. It was not coding round questions. Even the Amazon internship test for 6 months that happened, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, had questions directly from DSA. They were not coding round. They were not CP questions. They were questions like subtree or something like that. So all the questions were for DSA in my set also, and there was a set of APT C++ APT where there were 30 questions which I had to do, and with that there were Amazon principles questions on Amazon principle which they asked. So it was I think 2 hours or 2.5 hours test which I passed, and they shout out me a mail on 17 December that you will have your interview on 19th. So fortunately I was already prepared, so I could interview, and there were 2 rounds of data structure and algorithms, no projects, no core subjects. When you're interviewing for internships role, you will only be grilled on DSAs. You will never be grilled on your projects on all those things unless and until it's a very new startup. So they grilled me on DSA. The first round was the DSA based round. There I think 220 people, 230 people. Nowadays interviews are online, but that during that time I had to move to Hyderabad and had my interview. So there were 200 to 230 people, and they shortlisted 30 people from the first round. So it was simple enough. I went into that interview room. There was a DP question. They were asking one question to everyone. There was a DP question. If you answer, you move to the next round. If you don't answer, you do not move to the next round. So I did answer it and I moved to the next round. And the second round was in 1 hour round because there were 30 people, so they had ample time to take interviews. As a 1 hour round, so every question he asked is in the SD sheet. I cannot just tell the questions because it's legally not allowed. So the questions they asked, 4 questions that she asked. Every question I answered. It generally doesn't goes up to 4 questions. It is generally ranging from 2 to 3 questions. The reason is I was coding really fast when she gave it. So she was like Oracle. So it went up to 4 questions. So after that, I think 12 or 15 people were selected, and then we interned from February. I personally felt very good when I joined. I felt a bit lost when I joined because I never did development. I was never aware of all these Git stuffs and all these things. So for 15 days I was lost. Where am I? I was feeling frustrated. I felt like I should leave this. This is not for me. Probably I should get in somewhere I can problem set, or where I can be a tester or something. I was completely lost. Then they had this training phase where they give you time, where they give you 1 month to go through their code base. They will never rush you. After 1 month they will start allocating projects, and when they started allocating projects, it was going fine. And then I got this job offer, and then when I got the job offer from direct, I thought it's done. Amazon is done. So that is the moment I stopped working with full ease. Yeah, I was working, but I never worked for that conversion because I never wanted. And my internship was ending on 31st July. And generally when your internship ends, right before that week, like 31st July was my internship ended, and they will be informing you around 24th to 31st July whether you were converted to PP or not. So I left before 1 month because I had my joining in media.net. So then I joined it. I felt it was very good. The working experience and the learning curve was really good. But when I started working at Directa Media.net, I felt that wasn't up to the mark. I did not learn that much. Over here, I've learned so much in 2 months. And over here, the brains are much more sharp than at Amazon, because at Amazon, you'll find people who are rated 1200 who haven't even done CP. So they're a bit slow. I will not say they're bad. They're slow compared to us who think really fast. So at Media.net, we have people who are rated 2200 at Codeforces. I also have one of my friends who's rated 2400 at Codeforces. At our team, we have people who are rated 1800. Everyone is rated above 60. Everyone is an expert. At a minimum, everyone is an expert in our team. So you can understand what kind of brains work together. So when you work with these teams, you start learning a lot. So that is the reason I have moved from Amazon, and I realized that okay, Amazon sounds good, but it's not a company where you learn a lot because everything is already pre-built. Amazon is so old that everything is pre-built. So it's more of a management task with old codes. Or when you come to these companies, you write your own code, you build up your own logic. You don't do this stuffs where you manage old codes. You write your own codes, you manage your own codes, you test your own codes. So Media.net, I like it much more than Amazon, but then Amazon is a good one if you're new into industry. Yeah, that's the answer for Amazon.
Hi Bhaiya, Kashish this side.
Hey.
So basically, like my question is somewhere related to the coding interviews only, but somewhat like if I know if I'm good at DSA but not good at CP, or maybe good at CP but whatever the case is, so how do you actually present your solution while you're thinking the solution? Like when I'm interviewing for Google, suppose for example, we have to do the whiteboard coding round, and right now we have to do the Google Docs coding round. So while I'm thinking I'm coming to the most optimal solution within 15 minutes or something like that, I really need time to think while the interview expects me to just explain everything as if I already knew how the question is to be solved. So how do you actually deal with that thing?
So I think the time that you think you're getting is way less, because what we start when we are in an interview start panicking, we think the time is less, whereas the time is really huge. We think that oh shit यार 1 मिनट में शांत हूँ, इंटरव्यूअर क्या सोच रहा होगा, 2 मिनट में शांत हूँ यार, इंटरव्यूअर क्या सोच रहा होगा, 5 मिनट मैंने उसको कुछ नहीं बोला यार, गया मैं तो रिजेक्ट हो गया. These things starts at your back of your mind when you're interviewing. But trust me, the interview doesn't take it as a negative, even if you're thinking for 20 minutes. Because what I personally feel is, if it's in 45 minutes round interview, which is generally the case, I think if you're not able to come up to a solution within 15 minutes, I'm not saying about coding, at least a logic. If you're not able to come up to a logic in the first 15 minutes, I think you're gone. You will not be able to clear that interview, because 15 minutes is, if nothing strikes in the first 15 minutes, then I think it will never strike. So something will come to your mind. Just tell him, discuss with him for the next. But for the first 15 minutes, at least do not panic कि यार 1 मिनट में आ जाना चाहिए. वो लगता हम लोग को 15 मिनट, हम लोग सोचते दिमाग में 15 मिनट है, लेकिन हर 2 मिनट में we start panicking कि यार कुछ तो बोलना पड़ेगा, मैं शांत बैठा हूँ. तो don't even think that कि you have to be silent. Just think your logic. If a logic strikes it's well enough, tell him the logic, and you should be that much good कि once you have told the logic, it should hardly take you 2 to 3 minutes to code, not more than that. So that if 15 minutes, if you're taking 15 minutes to think of a logic completely, 15 minutes is more than enough to think. After 15 minutes, probably 10 minutes to explain him, 25 minutes, another 5 minutes to code, 30 minutes, and you're done with one question. And if it's a 1 hour interview, 30, 1 hour. That's the way to go. Don't panic. Don't even see the clock. भूल जाओ कोई सोच रहा है कुछ, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. अगर कर पाओगे तो ही ना फर्क पड़ेगा, नहीं कर पा रहे हो, सोच रहा है तो क्या ही फर्क पड़ेगा, ऐसे भी रिजेक्ट हो गए वैसे भी रिजेक्ट हो गए. इससे अच्छा सोचो, फ्री माइंड में सोचना. I'll tell you a story. When I was appearing for a media.net interview, my second round, I told him a logic at 20 minutes mark. And media.net rounds are basically CP based, where they ask Codeforces D and Codeforces E problems. So he pinged me up, I think Codeforces E का कोई problem था. They gave me the problem. 15-20 minutes, I gave him a brute force. He was not happy. 30 minutes down the line, I gave him another solution. He was not happy. I left hope. And suddenly at 50 or 55 minutes, I came up with a solution which he was agreeing on. The interview was of 1 hour. And he said, can you code? And I coded it in 5 minutes. And the interview went up to 1 hour 15 minutes. And the interviewer went up to the HR and said, Ki, this guy did not give up till the last minute. So that is the reason I am taking him to the next round. I would have rejected him, but I will take him to the next round because he did not give up till the last minute. So don't even think what people are thinking. Just solve. If you're able to give him a solution, that goes as a positive. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Where can I get the questions asked by companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft? You can check out the SD sheet. You'll find all the common questions, or you can check out interview experiences at Geeks for Geeks. Just type Amazon interview experience. You'll find the questions.
So Bhaiya, I have a question. Abhishek here.
Yeah.
So basically the issue is I'm in second year right now, and I like a lot of my friends are doing internships, and most of the time I'm focusing on CP and somewhat on app development, and I'm not getting any good internships right now. So what according to you is the ideal time for a candidate to scout for more internships, like quality internships?
I never got an SD internship unless until when I was in the 8th semester. So internships are overrated. When you're in your first year, second year, you start looking out at your colleagues and you feel like, yaar, ye to intern kar raha hai, meri to kahin nahi lagi. Unless until it's an intern at Amazon, it's an intern at Google, it's an intern at one of the top product-based companies. Startup interns, no one cares. Trust me. Usse better hai, build your own projects. And even if you don't get an internship, you can still manage. The reason is you have already built up good projects. So probably you can get an unpaid internship and you can plug that project in कि इस internship में ये किया. कोई थोड़ी इस कंपनी में कॉल करके पूछेगा कि भाई तूने ये प्रोजेक्ट करवाया था क्या इससे नहीं ना. So build a good project by yourself. Plug in an internship. No one cares why you're interning unless it's a top product based companies. Or second year mein, I don't think top product based companies you'll get an internship. It's third year and when you get that internship. So don't panic. I also did not have an internship. We start panicking because दिखता है कि सब कर रहे हैं. वो when you're in your college, these things will bother you because you will hear fancy names like intern, Python, ML, AI. Don't get yourself bothered by these fancy names. Just focus on the process. Just keep programming. Come fourth year, all those guys who are flaunting those internships, all those guys who are flaunting those AI, all those ML algorithms, they won't be getting the job because they would not have done DSA. Got it? So just don't panic.
Thank you so much, भैया.
टेंशन आराम से चिल करके अपना कोडिंग करते रहो.
So Ishita asks, I saw your video on how to make a resume. So what things should be done by me that looks good only on resume?
I think you saw the videos. I told that in the video, isn't it? I told that in the video, isn't it? So basically, something which looks good on the resume, couple of good projects, those things really stand out. A couple of good projects on the skills that are trending. Like for trending, as I say, it can be Java, Spring Boot, it can be React, it can be Angular. These things are trending. So if you can probably do a couple of good projects on them, they will stand out. Probably a good internship at a product-based company, top product-based company, that stands out. But an internship at XYZ doesn't stands out. Apart from this, probably a Google Kickstart rank. If you have a very good Google Kickstart rank on any of the Kickstarts, that will stand out. If you have a good rating, it will stand out. But if you have a decent rating, doesn't matter. Then it all comes down to your interviews. But apart from these things, I don't think resume is gonna play that a crucial part unless until it's a startup. If it's a product-based companies, once you're in that interview, your resume is never gonna matter. How you perform in that interview, what the interviewer gives the feedback, that matters. Trust me, resume will only be used for a referral. So you can write anything, doesn't matter. But yeah, projects will be important. If you do good projects, that is gonna help. And if you have done probably 200 to 300 lead code problems, that also gives a very plus point when you go to that interview or you ask for a referral. 200 to 300 problems on lead code is a plus. So try doing these things. Okay. For Google Kickstart, DSA also, no, CP. Google Kickstart के लिए CP के बिना तो नहीं होगा. DSA से तो नहीं होगा. समझ ही नहीं आएगा question.
So do we have any other questions, guys? You can ask. Yeah, Sneak, go ahead.
Bhaiya, I wanted to ask, to what extent do companies like Amazon or Microsoft or other similar FANG companies focus on GPA, especially in case of off-campus placement?
So basically, when it comes to off-campus, Microsoft is a very bad company for me. For me, I have a very bad experience with it. So it does hire intern for when you're in your third year. You'll have a chance to apply for internships at Microsoft. So Microsoft generally, previous to till the year where I applied, they were giving up hiring up till anyone who has greater than 7 CGPA. But what happened with me was they rejected me because I had 7.5 CGPA and they clearly stated that your CGPA is less. But then there was a very backlash on that LinkedIn a couple of years back, that if Microsoft is hiring only 8 plus CGPA, then why are they having greater than 7 CGPA on their website? So apparently this year they took care of that and they made it greater than 8 CGPA on their website. When it comes to Google, CGPA above 6 is what it matters. When it comes to Amazon, CGPA above 7 will matter. Even if I personally had 7.4 CGPA when I joined Amazon. So CGPA will not matter. If you have the cutoff CGPA, it's fine enough to go. But when you're appearing, I will suggest the better CGPA you can have, it's better. But if you are having anything greater than 7, I think you can appear for most of the companies that are around. You should not be having a problem. But please make sure you build up projects. You don't have good CGPA, you don't have good projects, you don't have good CP profiles, you don't have good anything. How will that help? So at least focus. But yeah, don't give up on CGPA. At least keep it as much as you can. But above that 7 is okay to appear for everyone. Above then 8 guarantees you guarantees you a chance for interview at every company. Apple again goes above 8. So personally, like I have an aggregate CGPA of 7.8. So I can never work at Microsoft and I can never work at Apple. So these are the two companies I can never work at as of now. So yeah, please make sure you have it at least greater than 8 so that you have a luxury.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll be taking 1 or 2 more questions. So Shaurya, go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Bhaiya, I just had one doubt. So whenever I sit down to practice the questions on DS and algo, then the greedy solution comes instantly in my mind. But whenever I try to optimize it more, then oftenly I take around 1 hour, 1.5 घंटा ले लेता हूँ और फिर मतलब ज़्यादातर मैं सोल्यूशन की तरफ पे देखने लग जाता हूँ कि मतलब सोल्यूशन देख लेते हैं
DSA पे या CP पे?
मतलब DSA पे अभी मतलब मैं मतलब CP को एज वैसे नहीं कर रहा था मैंने मतलब पहले DS को उठाया था पॉइंट आउट किया था कि उसको पहले अच्छे से ग्रास्प कर लूंगा उसके बाद फिर मैं CP पे करूंगा CP में साइड बाय साइड अभी सिर्फ मैंने कोड शेफ के लॉन्ग चैलेंजेस किए हैं ना कोड फोर्सेस किया ना मैंने अभी एड कोडर कुछ भी नहीं किया हुआ अभी
समझा
क्योंकि फर्स्ट ईयर में मैंने एज सच कुछ उठाया नहीं था CP बिल्कुल भी क्योंकि पता नहीं था उसके बारे में सेकंड ईयर में पता चला तो फिर कोड फोर्सेस का उठाया कोड शेफ का उठाया था लॉन्ग चैलेंजेस और DS एंड एल्गोस भी मतलब 11th 12th में मेरे पास कंप्यूटर साइंस नहीं थी तो फर्स्ट ईयर में मैंने DS एल्गोस किए थे लेकिन प्रैक्टिस उसकी मैंने सेकंड ईयर में आके स्टार्ट करी और मतलब काफी टाइम लग रहा है मतलब उसकी मतलब ऐसे प्रॉब्लम करने में तो
मैंने इसीलिए बोला ना कि देखो अभी DSA कुछ अलग चीज होती है CP खुद से बन जाती है CP खुद दिमाग लगाओगे तो बन जाएगी DSA ना ऐसी चीज है ना unless until you have read the optimal solution you will never get to it because it's a kind of invention whoever has got that optimal solution is an invention kind of thing so if you're not getting that it's fine trust me all the problems in the SD sheet like when I started solving like I can say only 20% I got these solutions optimal solution by myself all the other 80% I had to look up for solutions because solutions ही कुछ ऐसे होते हैं कि बिना देखे होगा ही नहीं फर्स्ट टाइम देखना पड़ेगा बट मेक श्योर कि नेक्स्ट टाइम देखना ना पड़े समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहा हूँ नेक्स्ट टाइम मेक श्योर करना कि भाई नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर वो क्वेश्चन आ रहा है तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए नेक्स्ट टाइम भी जाके देखो इतना तो दिमाग को मैच्योर कर लेना
हाँ बट लेकिन मतलब उस पर टाइम तो लेकिन स्पेंड करूँ ना मतलब लेकिन ऐसा तो नहीं ना कि मतलब
नहीं ऐसे जल्दी लेकिन 1.5 घंटा मत स्पेंड करो आई विल से 45 मिनट्स 1 आवर करो उससे ज्यादा नहीं
हाँ मतलब जैसे अभी मेरे को वो अपनी एल्गो एक्सपर्ट वाली जो क्लेमेंट वाली जो वीडियोस हैं मतलब मैंने उसे टॉरेंट किया था तो उसके मैं मतलब कैटेगरी वाइज उस पे हर पे जा रहा था तो मतलब एरेज उठाया था स्ट्रिंग्स उठाया था तो एरेज एंड स्ट्रिंग्स बड़े आराम से हो गया था बट देन उसके बाद फिर जैसे मैं लिंक लिस्ट ये सब
पे आया तो सवाल नहीं आएगा क्लेमेंट के में ज्यादा सवाल है क्या
हाँ मतलब 110 क्वेश्चंस हैं तो मतलब जितने एसजी शीट में कवर्ड हैं उससे मतलब थोड़े से कम है ऑब्वियसली लेकिन मतलब ऐसे कुछ हर एक टॉपिक से ले लो 3-4 क्वेश्चन थोड़े से कम होंगे बाकी बात मतलब ऐसे सेम ही है
समझा तो लेकिन एक सजेशन और रहेगा क्लेमेंट से डीपी मत पढ़ना यार वो आइटरेटिव डीपी पढ़ाता है तो ट्राई करना कहीं से और से डीपी पढ़ो जो रिकर्सिव डीपी पढ़ाता है आइटरेटिव डीपी काफी टफ लगने लगेगा ठीक है बाकी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है 1 घंटा इन्वेस्ट करो लेकिन एक ट्राई करो कि दिन के 4-5 सवाल अगर बनाते हो तो काफी है ठीक है
अच्छा एक और चीज कि मतलब जैसे अभी मैंने कॉम्पी उठाई लेकिन मैंने जावा पे उठाई है तो मतलब मैंने अपना डेटा स्ट्रक्चर मास्टर पूरा जावा पे किया था
चलेगा
तो मतलब वही ना चलेगा ना जैसे मतलब सब लोग ये बोल रहे हैं शिफ्ट कर ले ऐसे मतलब
हाँ कोई शिफ्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है तुमको दिक्कत नहीं है तो आराम से करते जाओ कोई फर्क देखो यार इंटरव्यू में जब जाओगे कोई फर्क तुम सिर्फ लॉजिक उसको बता दोगे ना उसके बाद तुम किस लैंग्वेज तुम जावास्क्रिप्ट में भी कोड करोगे ना उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता सबसे पहले वो लॉजिक सुनता है वो ये नहीं सुनता जावा में लॉजिक बोल रहे हैं C++ लॉजिक तो तुम आइडिया देते हो ना तब वो थोड़ी पूछेगा कि भाई जावा में बोल रहा है लॉजिक या C++ में बोल रहा है कभी नहीं पूछेगा वो बोलेगा तुम लॉजिक बताओ अगर वो लॉजिक सही है तो वो बोलेगा कोड कर दो और तुम किसी में भी कोड करो जावास्क्रिप्ट में भी कोड करोगे ना तो भी चलेगा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता समझ रहे हो तो चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं हाँ अगर तुमको कहीं लगे कि भाई साहब मैं कहीं भी पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ सब जगह C++ का सॉल्यूशंस लिखा हुआ है, तब कैसे करूँ, उस वजह से चेंज करना तो अलग बात है, बट ऐसे कोई जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है।
ओके, थैंक यू।
So भैया last question, like whenever you go to any interview and मतलब assuming कि हमारे साइड से तो है ना सारा कोडिंग राउंड अच्छा गया है and like we feel कि हम select हो जाएंगे, but then वो जो rejection आता है, so how do you deal with that rejection? क्योंकि काफी demotivated से हो जाते हैं।
I'm a bad guy to like ask this question because ठीक है I got rejected, ठीक है, असली rejection क्या होता है ना, I think it'll feel demotivated for a week at least. When I got rejected in Microsoft, मैं Microsoft की बाहर की लॉबी, मतलब रास्ता है Microsoft के कैंपस के बाहर, मैं उधर बैठा था 1 घंटा अराउंड, and I was very upset कि they rejected me even I could answer everything just because of my CGPA. But see, world will take you back if you work hard ना। अगर तुम उधर बैठ के कि भाई नहीं हो रहा है, छोड़ देता सब कुछ, तो फिर नहीं होगा। अगर तुम उधर बैठ जाओ कि नहीं होगा, तो फिर गलत है। उल्टा सोचो, ठीक है भाई इस बंदे ने रिजेक्ट किया, लेकिन मैं ऐसा कुछ करूंगा कि भाई इससे बेटर बंदे के पास जाऊंगा। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, 1 साल बाद, 1.5 साल बाद जब मैं अमेजन इंटर्न गया, मेरी पोस्टिंग हैदराबाद में हुई, और मेरी पोस्टिंग उस हैदराबाद अमेजन ऑफिस में हुई जो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट से 500 मीटर की दूर पे है, और मैं सेम फुट पे वॉक किया, एंड आई रियलाइज कि दिस इज वेयर आई वाज सिटिंग 1 ईयर बैक एंड दिस इज वेयर आई एम। सो ट्रस्ट मी, इफ यू थिंक कि यार क्या होगा, वो मत सोचो। सोचो ये कि ठीक है इसने रिजेक्ट किया है, 2 चीज सोचो, क्यों रिजेक्ट हुआ, उस चीज पे वर्क करो। मैं रिजेक्ट हुआ तो मेरा CGPA लेस था, तो मैंने भाई बहुत मेहनत की, मेरा CGPA अभी 7.9 है, 7.4 से 7.9 है, तो एटलीस्ट रिजेक्शन के कारण मेरे CGPA इंप्रूव हुआ, और फिर मैंने कोर सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़े। तो रिजेक्शन से पहले तो ये उठाओ, कभी ना ये मत सोचना यार मैं परफेक्ट हूँ मैं रिजेक्ट हुआ। ट्राई करो ये निकालने के भी कुछ तो रीजन होगा रिजेक्ट हुआ, उस रीजन पे काम करो। कभी ये मत सोचो इंटरव्यू खराब था, ये सोचो कि भाई कुछ तो मेरे में प्रॉब्लम होगी, वही प्रॉब्लम निकालता हूँ और उस चीज पे काम करता हूँ, ये सोचना। और मत सोचो कि यार रिजेक्ट हो गया, डीमोटिवेट, ठीक है 1-2 दिन लगेगा, लेकिन उसके बाद सोचना ठीक है मेहनत करूंगा और मिल जाएगा। अगर मेहनत करूंगा तो ठीक है, आज नहीं मिलेगा तो कल तो मिलेगा, समझ रहे हैं। इसलिए ज्यादा डिमोटिवेट होने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, जस्ट फॉलो द प्रोसेस, कीप ऑन फॉलोइंग द प्रोसेस, रिजल्ट्स आएंगे आज नहीं तो 2 महीने बाद, लेकिन आएंगे, समझ आ रहा है।
हाँ भैया, लाइक थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ये इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन, एंड आपने इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर किए तो काफी क्लैरिटी मिल गई। वी हैड अ रियली ग्रेट टाइम हैविंग यू विद अस, एंड थैंक्स अ लॉट DSC MUJ टीम जिन्होंने इतना बढ़िया इवेंट कराया एंड लाइक काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशन अरेंज किया। So guys, tomorrow we'll be having Roshan Halwai with us. We'll be talking about his journey to Amazon, and he'll be taking a hands-on session on Q. So we'd like to wish everybody here a very good night, and we hope to see you guys tomorrow.
चलो, thank you for having me. चलो, good night guys, bye bye.
Bye, Via. Good night.